excited to have you guys on. We're going to get recording. If you guys can turn your cameras on, number one. Number two, go message one of your team members and tell them it is no surprise we are on Zoom again every Monday, same time, same place. But you know what is so wild, you guys, is that people sometimes just forget, including myself. So don't count it strange. Don't think you're bugging your team when you do this, because they need to be reminded. Okay. But just want to say hello. Hello, Mallory. Good to see you. So thankful that somebody else is willing to record this and have that responsibility, you guys. It is a lot as a leader to remember to do every single thing, from make the graphics, to make the post, to get everyone invited, to record the Zoom, to upload the Zoom, to make sure the Zoom gets put in places. Like, a lot of people don't realize, you think you guys just hop on a Zoom and, you plug in the ID number. But what we don't understand is, as you grow in this business, we want leaders to step up. We want leaders to be in that leadership position. So thank you, thank you, thank you for taking that on, so I don't have to worry about it. And it is very helpful for people who can't get on. But don't let a recorded Zoom be an excuse not to get on a Zoom, right? Because a lot of times you say you're going to watch it and you say you're going to watch it, but you don't. Okay. So you guys, we are in week 2 of December, and we have so much that has going on this month with Christmas cash. I'm calling it conference cash, because whatever we do this month, we're going to really be able to launch and catapult for conference, you guys. And so set that goal, be loud about that goal, but more importantly, we're going to learn tonight how to reach that goal. Okay. So again, reach to your downlines, reach to your friends, remind them that we're on Zoom. Again, even if you're like, oh, they know, just send a message out. Maybe you see them on. It's better for them to be like, hey, I'm on, than, oh, I forgot myself. So send out a little message. We're going to rock and roll here. But just wanted to remind my team that if you guys did not send your Venmo for this month for our challenge, please go ahead and Venmo me and get that done, so we know exactly where we're at for the month. And we should be good for giveaways. But let's dive in. I'm so excited, you guys. Brittney and me go way back. And Brittney is going to talk to you guys about her enrollments, and she is just going to speak from the heart tonight. So you guys are in for a special treat. I'm going to shut up so Brittney can step up, and you can unmute yourself, girlfriend, right? I believe.
Yep, I should be good.
Hi, awesome. Thanks for
Yeah,
jumping.
you're so welcome. The first thing I want to say is, yes, I agree, Macy. I think it was like last week, I texted, I'm like, I know it seems simple, but I can't tell you how helpful it is to know that someone else, like, it is a big deal. So thank you. It means so much. The next thing is, I don't know what hit me, but a couple hours ago, I got extremely nauseous. It's like I feel fine, but I'm starting to get like sweaty and nauseous. So I have a whole thing planned tonight. Okay. We are going to go through every single thing that I want to talk to you about, but I'm also not stressing about keeping this an hour. I'm not feeling 100%, but I've not eaten since lunch. And anyways, I don't know. It's going around my daughter's school is my fear. Is like, did you just bring something home? Like, I feel like I could vomit. So if all of a sudden I run, that's why. But I cannot tell you how excited that I am to talk to you, because I feel like even recently, okay, let me give you backstory, because some of you don't know me and my story. I will be very quick with it though. In August, I hit my 10 years. I have seen the highs and I have seen the lows, and I have seen that all even recently. Okay. The hardest part about this business and the best part about this business is that you do not have a boss. So that's all fun and games, because you can kind of fly about your life and fit it into your life. The bad part is that you don't have a boss, meaning this can always be put on the back burner. Or if you're anything like me, sometimes been doing this for 10 years, I can get in the habit of, well, this task is so simple, I'll do it tomorrow, until tomorrow becomes 2 weeks. And then all of a sudden now you're behind. So when we've kind of been doing a little bit of everything. We've been finding guests. We've been talking from the heart. And I was like, you know what? I was planning on getting a guest. And I was like, wait, why can't I be the guest? And here's the best part. My team knows this. Recently, I've been wanting to talk on Zoom. So like the fact that I even feel called to talk on a Zoom, I feel very prepared and excited, but also knowing that I am 100% qualified. Why is my phone go? Okay. I feel 100% qualified to speak to every single one of you, whether you are on the mountain or you are in the valley, because I have been in both places and the middle, even within the last 3 to 6 months. Okay. So I'm not talking from this mountaintop being like, I've not struggled in the last 3 to 6 months, because I have. What I will tell you is I am in a very good spot, but it came from a decision that I made probably over a month or two ago, knowing, and I know this is going to sound super, super cheesy, but it's true, not even in network marketing, is you have to fall in love with the process, but divorce the results. And this is so hard because, especially when you're working with other people, they'll be like, well, talk to me about what results you're getting. Talk to me about what results you're getting. And so in a business that we are so results focused, sometimes you feel like you're not getting anywhere. But the reality is sometimes you just have to stick to a plan, knowing that the results are coming. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if you guys, whether, no matter what your beliefs are, I'm a believer in Jesus. And so I believe in what I call God winks, where like I'll have a thought, but I won't tell anyone. Well, then whether it's 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, there'll be something said that I'm like, okay, I didn't say that. And that was confirmation because no one knew. And actually, on a Zoom with Jessica Satterley, we had her on here. So if you guys were not on that one, watch the recording. But she said something that I needed to hear. Number one, I loved hearing that in the beginning of her business, she didn't see success right away. But she's killing it now. And so what that taught me, even though I know this because I've been part of the business for 10 months, is honestly, this business is a decision. Will you make the decision to do what you need to do, no matter what results you get in your timeline? And I'm gonna be honest, especially, I'm just gonna put it out there, especially when there's something you're chasing. I 110%, not exaggerating, was for sure I was earning 5 Christmas cash bonuses last month. Because I'm like, well, hold on a sec. And I didn't just say that to sound good. Okay. I was like, okay, I have enrolled that many DTs before. And what is it? Like between 40 and 60 customers, right? Like, so in my mind, I'm like, I mean, I've never done 60, but I've done 40 some. So I'm like, oh, heck, I could do it. Guys, I did do one, but I was shocked that I didn't have 5, kind of. But then it hit me on her Zoom, actually, when she made the comment saying most of her enrollments were coming from work she had done in previous months. So here I was genuinely doing Christmas cash effort, right? I was 10xing my tasks. And I could hand you guys my phone and say, here, you can log into my Facebook. I'm not just saying it. You could see that last month I did what I genuinely thought was 10xing. But I was like, oh, duh. Was I 10xing it 3 months ago? Was I 10xing it 4 months ago? So why am I expecting to get Jessica Satterley results if I wasn't doing Jessica Satterley work when she was doing it? Okay? There's a reason why I'm telling you all of this. Because one thing, and I'm going to tell you, you can buy into my BS or you don't have to. But this is what I'm buying into, is my own talk. Right now, I know for a fact some people will come out swinging January, February, and March. They will be earning bonuses left or right. They will be having team promotions. Like, I have this deep desire to be able to make a post again where I'm like, my team had 40 some promotions. It's been a long time since I've been able to do that. Like, it really isn't a check that I'm chasing. It's more of like, I want to be able to say, I have all these promotions. Okay, so what I'm going to speak to you today, and I'm going to go through my list because when I get excited, I can jump all over the place, which is why I already know when I'm talking to a bunch of you, I have to come with somewhat of a list, but I also want to talk from my heart because I feel like sometimes words and thoughts are put in your heart and mind at that time to cast it over to you. But the reality is, all the work I'm doing, yes, I have right here, I have my Christmas cash bonus trackers. And yes, I did print my 5 this month because I'm working towards that. But I'm also focusing on the bigger picture, knowing that if there is truth to what Jessica said, what if my 5 Christmas cash bonuses aren't coming, but my payout is going to be triple that in March because I was chasing a Christmas cash right now? Okay. Drop a 1 in the chat if what I'm saying is making sense. Because my biggest thing is, yes, I want you to understand that what I'm doing, I'm getting results from. But I also think a lot of our results are going to be coming later as well. Now I'm going to make a plug really quickly. For those of you that are thinking about quitting, this will not work for you. If you're already thinking about quitting, the blessings they're done coming your way. Okay? I'm talking that you will be here a year from now. What I'm about to say is going to be really silly. But guess what? Christmas cash will come back next year. Don't forget that come September and October next year, right? Because you know what's coming in November and December. So don't put yourself in the same situation that you put yourself in, or I'm speaking to myself, right? Next year, I need to be better prepared. And then I'm going to get all 5, right? And I'm obviously going for all 5 now. Okay, so I'm going to go through this. The first thing, this is going to be a little bit probably different because, yes, as I was making these notes, I was speaking from my heart, mind, and soul. And I was like, okay, if I was talking to myself or talking to someone that we were running together, not thinking about doing this, but we're doing this, what do I need to say? Number 1, I need us to take a break. You can put it in your phone or you can write it down, but I need you to write down 3 things that you are going to spend your Christmas cash money on. Whether that's perks member bonuses. Remember, every 4 customers that hit 300 BV, you get the $100. So even if you're new and for whatever reason, now granted, this is a mental block, but what is going on? Do you guys see this? Okay, all my team that is on right now, have you ever seen me do this? I've done, what is happening? I told you I didn't feel well. Okay, if I pass out, someone have my husband's number. No, I'm just kidding. I don't feel that bad. I'm just like, what is going on with me right now? Okay, anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yes, it's a mental block if you think you can't enroll distributors. But even if right now you are just perks member bonus focused, I want you to think, what would you do with $100? What would you do with $200? What you would do with $1,000? If you're chasing 2 of them, what will you do with 2 of them? Okay, I want you to write this down. Okay, the next thing that I want to say is whatever you write down, whatever went to your mind, you need to be making posts and stories about this. You have to get loud about the money. I was talking to my girl Carly today. She's been gone, and so she just knows like every 4 or 5 days she'll call me and we'll have like long chats and we talk about kids, spouses. Like it's literally we like catch up, and then sometimes it's like MIA for a couple of days and then it's like another catch up. And one of the things I told her that I think a biggest missing link that we used to do back in the day when we were mass all promoting is we just talked about the money. You made money, you talked about money. And the reality was it was not to brag. It's that a lot of people are sitting watching you do. They need to see that it's real. But it doesn't have to be $1,000. I signed my first distributor. I want you guys to hear this. I signed my first distributor off selling a wrap for $50. Okay, in my first 30 days, it took me a full 30 days to get 4 customers. I signed my 4th customer on my last day possible. So it wasn't like I came out swinging and I was like a top income earner, right? Wasn't super easy for me. And my first distributor came from making a post about making $50. Stop thinking it has to be these extravagant things. And I told her today, I said, I'm even calling myself out because we just don't do it enough. Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple bullet points to start working on a calendar for yourself. I would be making a post on the prelim day. I just saw my prelims. It's going to do ... And then when you get paid on payday, we just got paid. It's going to do ... And then I'm going to take it way back and I'm going to tell you how I used to coach my mom in this, because I feel like if my mom had this thought, that maybe some of you out there do too. She wouldn't touch her It Works money. So it would go like in a different account. Okay. So she was having a hard time talking about the money because she felt like it was lying, right? Like if I'm not touching it. And I was like, Mom, $200 is $200, whether it comes from your teacher account. Like, could you use that money and not this money? I said, here's what's lying. Lying is saying you made 400 if you only made 100. I'm not asking you to do that. We don't lie. Because I'll tell you what, if you lie, you may get ahead for a while, but it'll come back to bite you at some point. Don't lie. We do not lie. Okay. What we do though is we take our monthly check and we divide it into 3 or 4 posts. This is how we used to coach. And this is when our teams were coming in swinging and coming in hot. So let's say your check was 250. I'm talking about your monthly income check was 250 bucks. Okay. Could you make a post about $100 of it doing groceries? And then the next week, could you say, okay, I took 40 of it and put some gas in my car? And the next week, maybe you take 50 of it and say, the family's going out to dinner. And then maybe whatever's left over the 4th week, you're like, hey, it's going towards this credit card. Does that make sense? Okay. You have to be loud about what you are going to use your Christmas cash for. But here's what I want to tell you. A lot of the tips that I'm going to be telling you, there are things that I needed to hear myself as well. But this is what we were doing when everyone was coming in swinging, because people need to see that the money is real and it doesn't have to be big time money. Okay. The next thing is, and this is going to sound silly, but I want you to write down 5 things that you are thankful, grateful for right now. Okay. Keep it in your mind. And I'm going to kind of talk while you do this. I don't know about you guys, but life is hard. Like even in the blessings, it can be overwhelming. Right? Like my husband's traveling again. And I'm actually grateful that he's traveling because it has allowed me to live a little differently. But it would be very easy to get overwhelmed when you have kids, things overlapping, and you're like running around like a tornado. What I've had to do is find the blessings in that. Okay. Whatever you are, there's a reason I'm doing this. Start talking about what you are grateful or thankful for in your posts. You will attract what you put out. I will never forget, and this is kind of judgmental, but this was years ago, so I don't have a problem saying it out loud. I will never forget. I'm talking, this is probably like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. I will never forget asking my upline. I'm like, I'm not complaining, but like I'm attracting people that aren't like necessarily doing what I'm doing. And my upline said, well, that's like the content you're putting. And this is going to sound super judgmental, so take it with a grain of salt, but I hope you get my point, my tip from it. She said, you're posting that everyone is welcome, which there's not. And I'm like, well, everyone is welcome. Like, I just want to love everyone. She's like, then be okay with who you're attracting. She said, I set my standards up here, and that's the level of people that I'm attracting. So I think there is a happy middle ground in there, right? You want to be open and inviting, but you also can't say that this business is easy and you work at 30 minutes a day and then wonder why you attract people that don't want to put in more than 15 minutes. One thing that I was told a long time ago, and it was something that changed my life. I hate that it's true. I don't think it has to be true for everyone, but I do think there's some truth to it. And that is your people will do a percentage of what you do. So if you're giving 100, the masses may give 60%. You will have some that will maybe go past you. You may have some that do 20%. But if you find yourself, and some of these things that I'm going to go through tonight, you're going to have, you don't have to tell anyone. I want you to kind of self-reflect to yourself. Right? One of the things about this business is sometimes people can be posting and adding to their stories like they're working. Right? But a lot of the behind the scenes tasks, if those aren't being done, it's probably going to show in the enrollments. However, I want to put a disclaimer out there. That doesn't mean for the beginning. If you've just gone all in, you got to give it some time to see the harvest. So some of you are like, no, I have been doing the behind the scenes stuff. Okay, has it been 90 days yet? If it's not been 90 days of the consistent, don't say, like, don't count yourself out, but also don't be like, I'm doing all the things. Maybe it hasn't had time to harvest yet. Okay. The reason why I wanted you to get in the thankful and grateful mindset is that what you put out is what you're going to attract. Okay. So be careful with that. Okay. The next thing that I want to go over, and all these things are things that I've done within the last 30, 60, 90 days that have made a difference in my business. I'm already close to the amount of enrollments that I did last month. Not completely there, but I'm almost there. So I'm like, okay, I think I honestly could do 2 to 3 for sure. Okay. Get Christmas cash bonuses if I did one last month. But it didn't come from the stuff that I started right now. A lot of it, which I will get to how it's all a puzzle piece. But these are all things that I've done. Okay. The next thing, I need you to find people that inspire you, but that you're not going to compare yourself. Because it does not do any good to look at someone's wins and feel worse about yourself. Sometimes that can even paralyze the work that you're doing, right? Because you start to compare. So find people that you can get ideas from. The next thing that I'm going to recommend that you guys do is, and I actually did this, what was it, 3 months ago, and then 2 months ago. I went through and I unfollowed a lot of people that I used to follow. Okay. And then I went to the lists of people that are winning and I followed those people. Okay. Here's what I would do if I were you guys. Go to Road to VIP, and anyone that earned 5, 4, or 3 Christmas cash bonuses, go follow their accounts. Okay. Drop a 2 if this makes sense. Anyone can make a pretty post. Anyone can add to their stories. It can look like that someone is enrolling, but if the proof is not there, you got to be, it's okay to be a copycat. We got to make sure we're copying the right cats. Okay. And I've been guilty of that, where like I'll have those people that I kind of fangirl over, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I love the way they live. Let me give you an example. Do you want to know who I used to fangirl over big time? It's so funny because I'm not saying I'll never have her life, but like, it's not even something that I necessarily want, but I would love to watch Sherry Lynn's posts. She was someone that I could watch and I never got in my feels like, why does she have that and I don't? Actually, it gave me ideas. But the best part about following her was not only were her posts and her stories good, but she was also either in the top, but she also had people in the top. So she clearly was doing something right. So it's not, does that make sense? So make sure you're copying the right cat, not just because they're good at with wording or their pictures look good. Okay. The next thing is, we already talked about this, but I'm gonna make it quick so I can go through my tips. Yes, you want Christmas cash, but I really want you to understand that a lot of the work you are doing may pay big time in 30, 60, 90 days. You have to buy into that. And it's not just coming from me. For those of you guys that I'm your upline and you're like, I've heard you say that before. Great. Well, Jessica Satterley said it. She said the enrollments that she got from the Christmas cash did not come from all the work. It came from previous work. I needed to hear that myself. So I'm like, okay, because I'll be honest with you. We don't have, I mean, I'm not going to say this in a Debbie Downer way, but friends, we have 4 leaders and we have 33 people on this Zoom. We used to have hundreds on our Zoom. So obviously we are all in a position of like new growth. And I don't say rebuilding because we're always building, but like I have to focus on a bigger picture. And I feel like maybe a lot of you do too. And some of you guys I personally don't know. So I'm just speaking from my heart based on what I'm experiencing and what I've been able to do to turn it around. Okay. We went through that. Okay, this is a big one. And then I'm going to get into all the tips, but everything I just went through has to piece into this. Figure out your pillars. Will someone drop a 1 in here if when I say the word pillars, you have no idea what I'm talking about? And I'm going to give it a very quick rundown. And then I'm going to tell you to go to your upline. Like I know Heather's one of my new girls and we haven't gotten there. So Heather, you will text me and then I will go through it in depth. but there may be, but you weren't the only one. Okay. Like I knew you were going to drop a one, and I'm glad that you did. But there are other people on here that dropped a one that I'm going to give you a cookie cutter version, then go to your upline or come to me and I will explain it even better. Pillars are things that make you you. For instance, I have mine just so I could explain. I have family, which is my immediate family. I have friends and family. I have my faith. I have my health. And I have adventures. Okay. So what you do is you want to find 5 things that make you you. If you're a homeschool mama, that's going to be one of your pillars. If you have a family, that's going to be one of your pillars. If you have pets and you love animals, maybe that's one of your pillars. If you have chickens, that's one of your pillars. Right? You guys see where I'm going with this? Here's what many people do, okay? Especially when I'm training someone new, they will always say, I'm boring, I don't do anything. Bull. Stop. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And if you are boring, then you need to go find the other boring people out there too and build a team of boring people. Because at least you'd have fun together. And I get that sounds silly, but I'm being serious. You were created the way you are to impact people that you were meant to create, like make a difference in their life. There's purpose in that. I can tell you right now, my content does not speak to the rodeo community like Carly's does. And when I talk about being a baseball mom and liking Barbie stuff, Carly's probably happy for me, but she probably doesn't care. She's like, yeah, I'm not making a baseball reel, or I don't care about Barbie Christmas tree. But my followers do. Okay. Here's why this is important. If you are only locking yourself in to the same types of content every day, you are going to attract the same types of people. If you can open your pillars to 5 different directions, now here's where I'll go into the next thing where it gets really fun, is that when you find your 5 things that make you you, then what you're actually supposed to do, I'll be honest with you, I think this needs to be talked about at every conference. My upline and I taught it in Grand Rapids years ago. And they did kind of touch on it this last thing. But here's where it's kind of like a spider web effect. When you get the 5 things that make you you, then you take this one and you divide it into 3. So like my pillar, that's my family. My 3 dividers could be I'm a boy mom, a girl mom, and I'm a wife. Okay. And then you take your next pillar and you divide that into 3. And then you take your next pillar and you divide that into 3. Okay. I don't want to spend the whole time here. I want to show you the big picture. When you get done, you will have 15 different things to post about. You will never be able to say, I don't know what to post. Okay. The next thing is that you will never find yourself posting the same thing over and over, because what can happen, and I would like to know what I have done. I would like to know what is happening to my face right now. But what you will find is you don't get bored, because if you post the same type of picture every day, people are going to scroll because they're going to assume they already know what you're talking about. Okay. That's why I teach sometimes do selfies, sometimes step back and take a picture, sometimes just hold a product in your hand, sometimes takes a family, sometimes take your pictures outside, sometimes take them when you're in the restaurant. You want to change the picture to get their attention. Okay, there's a reason that I'm teaching you all of this, because what I'm getting ready to go over, the business is a puzzle piece. And sometimes it can be as simple as missing one piece that is keeping you from completing the whole puzzle. And I'm going to be really, really transparent with you. I think once you can truly get your pillars down and make a plan, a couple things happen. One, you won't get so bored with doing the same thing every day because you get to kind of shake it up. But 2, it gets a little bit easier because you're not being someone that's not you. So if you're just trying to copy and paste someone else's post, which there's nothing wrong with that, as long as you kind of make it sound like you, unless it's a before and after, then obviously you're going to copy and paste it, right? But let's say you're like, oh, Brittany made a post about her Christmas tree and how she decorates it, so I'm just going to make a post. Well, what if that was someone that doesn't even like decorating Christmas trees? You were just told to copy Brittney Landrum. Well, obviously, you're probably going to make a crappier post because you actually don't like to decorate Christmas trees like I do. Does that make sense? So sometimes it's okay to be a copycat, but you want to make sure that you're copying the right cat, but you're also, because your posts will seem more fun, interactive, and heartfelt. The reality is what we do. If your posts don't make someone feel something, they're going to stop paying attention. Whether it's laugh, whether it's cry, whether it's feel inspired, you got to make them feel something so that they want to come back to your content. It's why some of you have your favorite shows. Some shows that this person loves, you're like, I can't stand that show. Some shows that this person loves, they love and this person doesn't. It goes back to your pillars, right? You're going to attract different people. Okay, let me get into this, and then this will get into all the things, the puzzle, the pieces. There are 3 things that you should be doing every single day. Now, my favorite part, and this is going to sound crazy, but I feel like my team can learn from me, but I also think I can learn from my team. And back in February, obviously I've done this business forever, but back in February, I went and got a full-time job. I wasn't looking. Someone came to me and asked me to run their social media. Long story short, I ended up taking the job. It was a wake-up call that I needed, because what I thought was hard with this business, because drop a 2 in the chat if you message people every day and people either say no or don't respond. Okay, well, Host to Post wasn't around in the beginning of my business, but it has been around for like at least 5 years. Some of you haven't been getting told no or being ignored for 5 years like me. I got to the point where I was like, I don't know that I want to do this. Not that I don't want to do the business anymore, but I don't know that I want to do Host to Post anymore. So maybe it'd be easier to go get a job, and then this could still make me a couple thousand, but like obviously once upon a time it was like 15, 20,000. I mean, like this can be serious money, okay? But I had gotten to the point where I was like, maybe not. Well, here's what happened. I went and got a job, and I realized that what I thought was hard with this business, I needed to get over my damn self. There's a book said, Get Over Your Damn Self. If you haven't read it, I recommend it. All I needed to do was, I didn't have to reread the book. I just had to go get a job. And I was like, joke's on me, because I would really rather message people and be told no and ignored all day than have to miss 3 of my son's 5 baseball games. That'll never happen again. It was like a wake-up call that I needed. Now, hear me out. It's not always butterflies and rainbows. Still, okay? That's how I can say I've seen the highs and lows. But I have to like reality check myself. So what I have done, where I was saying I learned from my team, girl on our team, Macy, she's on here. It was like a aha moment. It was like, okay, I'm finding that, I think she had kind of mentioned, I'm going to botch this, but I'm just kind of use what she said, but I'm going to make it fit me. Okay. I don't know that she was super, super, super consistent with Host to Post at first. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But what she realized is there are some days that she could go more ham than others. And so that had to be her new norm. Well, what I have found is there are some days that I can't be tied to my phone through Host to Post. It's easier to make video content, talk in my stories, and post 3 times a day. So what I have started doing, and here's the best part, no one's my boss, so I can do whatever I want. Okay? No one's your boss. You can do whatever you want. If you're okay with the results you are getting, then don't listen to anybody else. If you don't like the results you're listening, then start listening to people that are getting the results that you want. And so what I had to do is be like, okay, well, clearly being consistent with Host to Post 7 days a week isn't working for me. And my personality is I get defeated and I have ADHD, so I'll go hard. And then I'm overwhelmed since I can't do it. So then I won't do it at all. And then you're just chasing your own tail. And I was like, hold on a second. Why don't I just try what Macy does? And I have days where I'm going more into Host to Post, and then more days I'm going into video content. If by the end of the week, I have the same amount that Sally gets up by dividing it up, it doesn't matter. Okay? So that's the next thing that I want to tell you is, with the pieces of the puzzle, you have to do these 3 things daily. How you get them done is up to you. I'm going to tell you what has been working for me. Number one, you have to be adding to your network every single day. Okay? You have to add to your network. Now, in a second, I'm going to go over how I've been doing that and how I would recommend you guys doing this. Number one, you have to add to your network every single day. Number two, you have to have new conversations daily. And number three, you have to follow up every single day. How you do that? Yes. What are you doing? Okay, hurry. I'm having a meeting. Did he know you were down here, or did he leave already?
He left. You can do your meeting. I just want to drink some of it.
I know, but you're not supposed to be down here. Hurry, I'm being recorded. Sorry, I'm home alone. I knew Matt was leaving to take time. Okay, you really gotta go. Love you. Okay, sorry. What was I saying? Carly? Macy? Someone help me. Oh, the three things. Okay, the three things. So adding to your network, new conversations daily, and follow up. How you do them are up to you. Okay, sorry. She's supposed to be in bed by now. I had told Matt if you could put her in bed before you leave. That's why it caught me off guard that she came in. Because I'm like, it's already her bedtime. But now he's not going to be home until 10 o'clock. So it's going to be a hot mess. Okay. Adding to your network, for me, I do two different things that does that. One, post to post, and video content. Okay, Reels and TikTok, and talking in my stories. Giving people something to share. Okay, here's my biggest thing, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I found myself jumping 100% into host to post because that's what, Jessica said. She did 400 of them, guys. 400 host to post in a month. Now, for some people, they're like, that'd be miserable. I mean, you got to just choose what you want, because my whole thing is 400's not bad for the $5,000 she got paid as a bonus in full. That's my favorite thing about these Christmas cash bonuses. There's no like maintenance, there's no payout. You literally get this cash. So can you go ham for the rest of the month in host to post? I mean, I think it's worth it. So to add to your network, you have host to post and you have Reels and TikToks. It is the easiest way for two things to happen. Number one, you're not only going to be growing your following, but you're going to be growing your following with that people are going to be interested in your stuff. Okay, so when it comes to host to post, no one's going to be commenting on a product post if they aren't interested in your product. Okay, so let's say Sally posts for me. 10 people comment. Drop a 3 in the chat. If those 10 people, you add them as a friend, you message them, and they do not buy from you, go ahead and drop it in the chat. And if all those people are buying from you, then you're doing something better than me, because they don't buy from me. Okay, they don't buy from me yet. But here's what happened. Instead of blindly, I'm not saying this is wrong, but instead of just going through people's friends list and like adding their friends, yes, it's better than not adding anyone at all. But here's what you don't know. You don't know if they're going to have anything in common with you when it comes to your pillars. You don't know if they're going to be interested in the business, and you don't know if they're going to be interested in your product. But if you do host to post, at least you know they're interested in something that you have to offer. So that's one reason why I think it's the best way to add to your network. Then video content. You don't know what to make video content about? Perfect. Go figure out your pillars. Because once you figure out your pillars, that is 15 different types of content I can make. I can make content about being a boy mom. I can take videos of why my son's playing baseball, basketball, turn it into a reel, turn it into a business reel, turn it into a non-it works reel. Or fake. Do you guys make sense what I'm doing with this? One thing that I love about pillars, and this is what not every single one of them, but most of them, every single pillar, I'm going to give you examples. Every single pillar you can make as product, business, or non-it works. Now, this doesn't necessarily work for faith, like my faith pillar, because obviously I'm like, can't really talk about my faith in the product. Not saying, does it make sense? Like, that doesn't make sense. Let me give you an example. Talk about my husband. I can take a picture of my husband and I can post it and not mention it works at all. That is a non-It Works post about being a wife. Saturday, he loves our coffee. I could take a selfie of us, or I could take a picture of our hands holding our coffee mugs and talk about how he drinks the keto coffee, how I drink the skinny brew. And now I just talked about being a wife and the product. Okay. Another example. I could talk about how my husband and I are on a journey to go 100% debt free. I could take a selfie of us and talk about the business. That is how you can take a pillar of yours and talk about it in 3 different ways. If you have gotten to the point where you know what pillar, some of you have heard this pillars talk, but if you found that your content is getting stale or you aren't attracting new people, it may be time to revisit that. Because one thing I found is, yes, I've made it, but I made it so long ago that like some of that had changed. Last time I made it, I was a fitness instructor. So a lot of my content was my Kangoo fitness content, and then I could talk about product and business through that. Well, I'm not a fitness instructor, so I had to take that one off and I had to replace it with something, okay? So how you're going to add to your network is just like I told you, post to post, and you have to get over the fact that you're having a lot of conversations and adding new people and they're not buying right away. Here's where, remember at the beginning, we talked about gratitude. Here's where the gratitude comes in. And if I'm telling you right now that some of you are listening, you're like, man, this girl has it figured out. No, I don't. Cheryl, Kristen, Macy, Jess, Carly, can you guys all nod your heads that she in fact does not have life figured out, right? Can everyone say, yes, we know her. She does not have it figured out, but we love her. Cheryl's like, we love her, but yeah, she doesn't. Okay, so I don't have it all figured out. So when I'm telling you this is stuff that I'm doing for myself as well. Okay, here's what I've had to do. I'm not exaggerating when, what was it, from, what was it, like 4 days, 5 days? I had 51 people post for me. And guess what? Nothing came from it at the beginning. And I actually have them. I showed my girl Holly today. Some of them, I would say half of them got no comments, but over half of them got a ton of comments. So I've like added new people and I was like, did I seriously just do all this work and be stuck to my phone for all these days for no enrollments? But I'm like, okay, Jessica said this is what it takes. Here's what I had to do, and I had to do it quick. Instead of being bummed that I had just spent hours sending information to people that didn't buy or join, I had to be grateful that they are now in my network and not someone else's. I had to be like, flip the script. Nope. Be happy you have new potentials, because if you keep trying to work your business off old potentials, your business will not grow. That's the next thing I would probably do, is I'd probably track your friend count. If in 30, 60, 90 days, your friend count does not go up, you're not doing enough host to post, you're probably not doing enough video content. Okay. Also, for anyone that doesn't know my heart, some of the things I say are rough and tough, but I believe I'm such a good friend that where some people will tell you what you want to hear, I love you enough to tell you what you need to hear and what I need to hear. So it's never from like, I'm better than you. It's like oh, we all kind of need the truth, not just something that sounds good, because we don't want to waste any more time doing something that's not going to work. Okay. The next thing, new conversations daily. There are 3 ways that I've been starting new conversations daily. Post to post. Okay. Adding to my stories and my posts. So I'm getting ready to show you how the 3 things you need to do daily can be done every way, but how it's a piece to the puzzle. Now you may be thinking, okay, Brittney, you said at the end of November and the beginning of December, within like 3 to 5 days, you got up 51 host to posts, but you just said you got no enrollments. But now you're saying you're well on your way to a Christmas cash and it's only the 9th. Well, guess what happened? This is where this puzzle piece fits in. I did host a post. I added them to my network. They got the pricing and they went MIA, right? Don't they all do that? But then guess what I did? I posted a before and after picture the next day. So all the people that went MIA when they saw my post, like 3 people messaged me. And it's so funny. She's not on here now, but I bet she told me that she was going to watch the recording. She's one of my newer girls. Not that she was discouraged, but she was like, I have people that are thinking about, but they're just not messaging me back. I was like, go post this before and after. And she had already sent me conversations because I've been telling her to send me conversations. And this lady's name, I think it was, what was it name? It wasn't Polly. Some of you guys are going to laugh because I got Polly stuck in my brain. It's not Polly. It was something else. But anyways, she sent me a message and she was like thinking about doing like signing up. She went MIA until this girl posted before and after, and then she messaged and said she was ready. And she was like, it worked. I was like, no, I know. That's why this is a puzzle piece. But are you continuing to add pieces to your puzzle? So when you do host a post, don't be bummed that they're not. I'll read your questions in a minute, because if I read them now, my team knows I'll be way off track. So host a post for me is a win, even if I get them to accept my friend request. That's a win to me. That is like them signing up, because I already know I am consistent when it comes to posting stories. Where sometimes people miss the boat is that and maybe I'm speaking to you and maybe I'm not. You'll have to answer this for yourself in your own heart. But like, if you're super all in and then super all out. I know I've been in the business 10 years. There's always people that go balls to the wall come conference time when the bonuses come out. You're probably not earning a bonus if you only work 2 to 3 months every 12 months. Right? Instead of going crazy for 60 days, why don't we find a consistent pace for 12 months? Okay, so the host to post. The win is if they just accept your friend request. Now it comes to your posts and stories to water those seeds. Guys, friends, look it up. I'm not making this up. Someone taught me this. Fun fact, I shouldn't even say this, but once upon a time, I was a casket sales rep. Is that weird? Is that not the weirdest thing you've ever heard? I know, it's weird. It's a long story. I probably need to make a post about that. But anyways, I didn't last very long because I just couldn't do it. I was scared. But anyways, in one of the things they made me sit in, they were teaching me, and they said someone has to see something 19 times before they will ask you about it. Drop a 1 in the chat if sometimes you see your friends' posts and sometimes you don't. What you have to remember is that goes for your post too. So you think you just posted your story 3 days ago and told your story about you seeing success or what you're working for the Christmas bonus. What if they didn't see that post? So you have to repost it, or not repost it, but retell it. Okay. So that's into new conversations. And then follow-ups. This is going to sound silly. Follow-ups, you have posts in there again. It's an easy way to follow up, right? You talk to someone about hair, skin, and nails. They used to, this is how I used to get trained. Someone would be like, because back in the day, we didn't have all these products. So one of my top sellers was our hair, skin, and nail supplement. They would say, hey, if you talked about someone about like the hair, skin, and nails, post a before and after tomorrow. And if you could even find a before and after that looked like them. Right? So if you have like someone with dark hair, someone with blonde hair, someone with red hair, someone with curly hair, try to find a before and after that kind of fits their build, their hair, their body type, whatever. If they see themselves in it, they are more likely to sign up with that. Makes sense? That's another reason why I would be changing your before and after pictures. If you go look at my page, I went ham in November, and I can call myself out right now. Go look. In August and September, or even July and August, there's probably not many before and afters. If you go to November, I did a before and after every couple days. Well, if you look at my enrollments, they were different because I did my post to post, and then I did my before and after every couple days. Okay, so that's my next big thing. So post. So how do you follow up? You follow up by posting. You follow up by adding to your stories. The same thing that starts new conversations. And then how you follow up by messaging. Okay, so in the 3 tasks that you need to do daily, adding to your network, having new conversations, and following up, we have covered the tasks: post to post, reels, stories, posts, and messaging. That is the 5 to 6 tasks. That's 5 tasks. And when I teach my team, I say we do 5 to 6 tasks daily, The only one that I didn't cover, but really I covered at the beginning of this call, is mindset. And it's probably the most important one. You guys know this. The hardest part about this business, you will hear no way more than you hear yes. But all it takes is one yes to change your business. Now, some of you that have been around me for a long time, you have already heard this. But I have some new people on here, and I know there are some people that I haven't spoken to, so I'm going to share this story. There is a book, it's very short. It's called Go for No. It is something that I was told to read in the beginning of my business, but I want to change your perspective. Drop a 2 in the chat if it really is hard, sometimes annoying, or frustrating to hear no. And it's okay to be honest. Drop a 2 if that's you. Okay. What if starting tomorrow, I told you you were 300 no's away from earning $1,000 Christmas cash? What if I could prove to you that if you can go be told no 300 times, you will get a Christmas cash? You know, it'd be funny because when I used to do this analogy back in the day, not only are you excited to be told no, but you're almost like someone tells you yes, you're like, no, I want to know. I want to know. Well, what ends up happening, because this is how the business works, in between all the people that ghost you and say no, you will find the people that say yes. So if you will change your mindset from the no's being a bad thing to the no's being a good thing because you're that much closer to your next yes, the work becomes easier. And I'm not saying to lose feeling or the personal side of yourself, because it's not fun to be told no. For me, actually, I don't mind being told no these days in a way that it used to bother me. Do you know what really bothers me? When someone pours their heart out to me about how they're financially struggling, and I know this could genuinely help. So then I'm like bummed for them because I'm like, oh my gosh, you just robbed yourself because the husband said no. But I can't say that to them. So I'm like sad, not like defeated. And I don't want to go talk to another people because I'm afraid to say no. So my biggest mindset thing is, number one, switch your mindset to that. Yes, you are going and helping people. You have to want to help people on the products. Do you know how good it felt? I don't know if you guys go see my story, you will see it. But I got a text this morning that said, good news, between water, watching what I eat, burn, and walking, I am down 13 pounds. You want to know who that text was from? My mom. I woke up to that text and I was like, heck yes. Little things like that reignite that, yes, you are going to have those people that don't see results. Heck, I was just talking to a girl on my team. I have a confession. Well, this part I didn't tell her. I did tell Holly this morning. I kind of let myself get out of control recently so I could get a new before and after picture. I know that sounds awful. I'm like, it's the holidays. I'm just going to put it on. Because every time I post a new before and after picture, my business blows up. Anybody else been there? Anybody else have their highest enrollments when you have your own personal results? Okay, this is like the Monopoly game to me. I'm like, I know what's coming at conference. I don't know what's coming, but I know stuff is coming, right? So I'm like, I'm going to play this game. I'm going to kind of get out of control so I get a new before picture. I'm going to hit it hard. That way in January, February, March, I got a new before and after. And so my business will blow up again. I know how to play the game. Play the game, friends. Okay? I know it sounds crazy. Your business will boom if you get a before and after picture. And one of the things that I was telling my friend is that, yes, things had gotten out of control for me, but the reason why I never was like, oh, this product doesn't work is because I wasn't doing all the things that I need to be doing myself. No, the product works. You just can't be going crazy. Okay? Here's what I'm going to do. Can we stop the recording?
Do you want it stopped or paused?
You can stop it. I'm pretty much done with what I wanted to cover.
Okay.
Okay. I was just going to open it up for questions.